For some reason, 2025 is the year of decent superhero movies. So, to appease the algorithm, I thought I'd take some superheroes and turn them into dinosaurs. So without further ado, on with the show. Hello there, Dino Dude here again. Now that I'm done with that whole art fight thing, I figured I'd give you some more dinosaurs. Because apparently the last one just blew up in views. At the time N.E.R.D's writing this, it has around 21,000 views. Now, this could be because it's an SCP video, but I'm going to assume because it's me and my dinosaurs, because I am desperate for validation. Anyway, because of all the big superhero stuff coming out recently, I decided to make some dinosaurs based on some of them. First, we have Superman, based on the new James Gunn movie, which personally, I thought was good. Not a masterpiece, mind you. The pacing seemed off, the thing with Superman's parents was weird, Ultraman really should have just been Bizarro, and as much as I didn't want to see another Superman origin story, I do feel like we missed some context, like his relationship to Lois and other details, but it was still good, and leagues better than the brooding Martha screaming crybaby we got last time. Oh yes, I can feel the angry Snyderverse comments now. That's some good engagement. But anyway, we were talking about dinosaurs. Now you may be looking at this thing and wondering, N.E.R.D, that's a dragon. But it isn't. The main reason I wanted to do Superman was because there was already a dinosaur called a Supersaurus, one of the biggest dinosaurs we ever discovered. However, it's also a sauropod, and I feel like a Superman dinosaur should be able to fly. So I crossbred in some pterodactyl genes and called it a day. Okay, N.E.R.D, I covered the fact that this was originally supposed to be a dragon episode. Can I get my bonus now? We were still recording, weren't we? Either way, moving on. Next, I decided to make some dinosaurs based on the new... Yes, but based on that. Now, I've already made a Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman dinosaurs, so I decided to finish out the team with the Thing and the Human Torch. Now, these two were fairly easy to work with, as far as what dinosaurs I was taking inspiration from. For the Thing, I decided to make an Ankylosaurus on account of its durable hide and hulking body. Obviously, I increased the size of the arms, making it easy for the Sting to clobber its adversaries. And I increased the size of the scales, making them look like the Thing's rocky skin. As for the Human Torch, I decided to go for the obvious and make it a pterodactyl. And yes, here's the obligatory, I know this isn't actually a dinosaur, but I don't really care comment. Now that that's out of the way, the reason I did this was obvious. It could fly. I also made the pterodactyl bioluminescent, making it glow as if it was on fire. Obviously, I couldn't program pyrokinesis into genetic code, but I did the best I could. However, what I could program into the genetics was a predisposition to get on each other's nerves. The Human Torch pterodactyl constantly bothers the Ankylosaurus with all the annoying little brother energy it can muster. I know how that feels.
I can hear you talking about me.
Hey, Terror Tiger. Anyway, on to the next one. Now, I didn't quite know which superhero I wanted to work with next. I knew I wanted to do something from one of the new MCU projects that came out this year, but which ones? Most of the Thunderbolts character designs are fairly grounded and realistic, aka not good fodder for making dinosaurs. Though a century dinosaur would have been fun in retrospect. But anyway, eventually I decided to go with Daredevil. Now, I almost did a dinosaur based off Kingpin. No, not that Kingpin, this Kingpin. Stupid cross-channel collaborations. Because, to be honest, Kingpin is probably one of my favorite comic book villains, and probably my favorite pieces of autism representation of all time. Granted, this has never been confirmed in canon, but it has been confirmed in interviews, but look at it, it's fairly obvious. Anyway, take that, Mr. Fantastic. This is what good autism rep looks like. He's a villain, but he isn't a villain because he's autistic. He's just a villain who happens to be autistic. But I'm getting quite distracted, and the video is called Superheroes as Dinosaurs, so back to Daredevil. I eventually decided that I was just do the obvious and make Daredevil a Carnotaurus, which is a theropod with these two devil horns, making it a perfect fit. You may remember this if you were one of the two people that watched the Disney movie Dinosaur. I also may have taken some xenomorph DNA and used it in the dinosaur to make its eyes hidden inside of its skull, making it look like it has none. Because Daredevil's whole thing is that he's blind. Besides that, it's just a fairly basic red scales, although I did make gold variant. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Enjoy. The last dinosaur for this episode is also one that I wasn't sure what to do with. At first I wanted to make it based on either Jean Grey or Blade, since both characters were just added to Marvel Rivals. However, that would make 4 Marvel characters and 1 DC, and that simply would not do. So I decided to go with another, not Marvel nor DC, but another comic publisher altogether. I decided to work with, from the show... Okay, is that going to happen every time I say the word? Yep, it is. That's fine, we can work with this. For this one, I will admit, I went fairly basic, just making him a raptor. I didn't give him the ability to fly, but I did give him enough muscle strength to jump several miles through the air. I also gave him incredibly strong scales, making him almost... Okay, this is getting annoying. I also decided to add another detail, giving him bug-like eyes to replicate... Oh, come on. Okay. Well, I also gave him 2 different colors. One based off his more iconic yellow and blue costume, and one based off the black and blue costume that plays in the new season of Invincible. Ha! I gotcha now, you stupid running gag. I am... Thanks for the 22,000 views on the last dinosaur video. If you have more dinosaur video suggestions, comment below. But until then, goodbye, and I'll remember you all in therapy.